because basically these videos are just me like thinking out loud and not being looked at too weird because I'm actually talking to a camera and I'm not just like talking to myself. Kind of, but I am. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ryan from Mama's Got a Budget, and thank you so much for joining me. So this video is going to be an entire recap of my December 2018 budget. I can't believe it, but we're doing it already. We're already 1 month into, well, I say we because we're in this together, but we are 1 month into my budget journey. So I want to do a regular video every month to recap everything that happened as a whole. What I struggle with, what I felt I did good with, my goals for the next month, and where I can improve, things like that. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, give me a thumbs up so that I know you guys are here for it. So if you are new here as well, welcome, hello. Let me remember to do this at the beginning. My name is Ryan. I'm a single mother of one son. I'm 31 years old and I am a nerd, right? I went to school for finance and accounting, graduated from SIU Carbondale, boop boop, go Salukis, hey. And I work in finance currently. I currently work with highly compensated pathologists and ER physicians and anesthesiologists, things like that, things that I could never. So I work with them. I do their budget. I do their forecast. I review the trends. I put together financial packets. I speak with their vendors. I get their retirement set up. I give them advice about all these things, right? But as much as I do, and as much as I did at SIU, I wasn't applying it to my personal life. I was constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I was in debt. Well, I still am in debt. We're on this journey, right? Like I said. So I was the one who was living paycheck to paycheck. I was the one who was in debt. I was the one who was making unsmart, let's just say that, unsmart money decisions, not knowing where my money went, and physically needing a paycheck, missing payments, everything like that, until I decided to whip my butt into shape, right? So I started with my credit score, and now we're moving on to my budget, which credit score still really is still a big part of what my financial journey is, but now I'm sharing with you my budget journey, and that's where Mama's Got a Budget was born. I wanted to get everything that I know, being book smart, going to school for it, and street smart with the experience that I'm working in every day, put it together and apply it to my life, because I need to catch up. I need to catch up with these doctors. What are we doing? Are you single or not? Because I got some retirement that you can fund too. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, then hit subscribe and join our big happy family here. I got to think of a name for us. I don't have one yet, but we're going to think of something. We're up to like 1,400 subscribers, which I never thought would happen. Like, this is crazy. So yeah, join us here. We have fun in the comments. We talk about personal things that are going on, how your budget's going, what affects you, and I just hope that I can be that motivating and relatable person for you on YouTube. Whatever, hit me up. I'm always here. I'm down. So if we jump over to our favorite budget binder over here, you'll see that we have not pulled up, this is not a spreadsheet. We have turned to our December budget. Now, I say that I'm new to this. Even though I went to school, graduated, working every day, I say that I'm new to this because this is really my first time putting everything that I know and just putting it on paper, doing it as you see like this. So things will ebb and flow. Like maybe my layouts may change, things like that, but for the most part, this is the way that I like to budget. If you find something different that works for you, definitely leave a suggestion in the comment box. I know you guys are always chatting down there. Go ahead and do it, but this is just what's currently working for me. So I get paid in my position twice a month. I get paid in the last and the 15th of the month. So that last paycheck of the month has to last me the first 15 days of the first month of the following month, and on the 15th it has to last me the entire rest of the month, if that makes sense. So I have my paychecks broken down here so that I can physically see where it falls on the calendar. So we have my first paycheck in gray and my second paycheck in purple. A lot of my bills are due in the beginning of the month, and that tends to happen, right? Where, you know, the first of the month comes around and you just like chuck it all up to bills and whatever you got to pay. That happens with me too. And then another half of those bills are due. No, and then half of the amount of those bills are due in the second half of the month. So as you can see here, I have on here, looks a little weird, right? So I went ahead and I like to highlight the days that bills are due so that I can see at a glance in a different color what days I'm just going to be like FML, right? So these stickers right here are just something that's coming soon. I wanted to see how many I could fit in a day because I think I'm over these janky hearts I was drawing. I wanted something, you know, a little cuter. So I made these stickers. So you guys will see those probably in my next video, I think, where I'll show you. So I have 12 bills due with my first paycheck and then 6 bills due with my second paycheck. So it's like I get a little break in here and more of a break with these 6 days. So I learned, like, by putting it on paper this month, that me being able to visually see when bills are due are a huge help. I know that I have wiggle room to work around things if I can see like that these days are blank. It's kind of refreshing to me knowing that I have all this going on, that I have, you know, time to breathe in here. So I'd rather get all this over with here and then have time to breathe these 4 days than, like, you know, being all over the map with it. So I think I'm okay with that for now. If anything changes, I'll let you know. If you remember from my last video, a tip: if this doesn't work for you here, if this gives you anxiety, like having all these bills right here, you can negotiate these bills, right? Call up American Express, call up your mama where you pay rent, call up, no, probably not childcare, call Capital One, see if you can rework your due date, and if you are one to have it more spread out, then you can rework those for you. So that's one thing that I learned, that I learned how top heavy my months are with these paychecks. So I mean, it's not fun, but whatever. Let's see. I can also see from this that my larger bills are due toward the middle of the month. That may be something that I want to rework. It's not necessarily the number of bills here, but it's the larger, like the amount of the bills, the dollar amount of the bills. Because even though I have these, what's this, 7, 8 bills here, they don't really add up to that much. I mean, childcare is a big one, but the gym is $8.88. American Express, I do $50. Rent, if you guys don't know, I live with my mom, so I pay her $200. So I pay her $400 a month. So these aren't too big. And then the savings, I do $20 for Elijah. So these aren't a lot, but down here we got Verizon, that little SOB right here. Then I got rent. Then I got QVC. Then I got car insurance. Then I got student loan. Then I got car note. So that may be something that I want to rework. Not necessarily the number of bills, but where they hit the hardest. And then if you remember from my first, was it my first ever video? I think it was my first budget video. I have how I budget, and I started this at the end of November when I said, you know what, I'm not going to be the person who's giving all this advice and everything, but struggling in her own day-to-day. So when I started this, I didn't have the means to do what I like to do now, which is cut all my bills in half, cut them between those 2 paychecks, right? So I started off this channel with most of my bills being paid, having to be paid in full, so that I could cut them in half the next time around. So what I like to do is start off with my income and then do my fixed expenses. I have those here. The ones that are highlighted in blue are the ones that go to PayPal. I don't know if that's horrible. It is kind of like an extra step to recognize which ones go to PayPal, add them together, then do the transfer, and then it takes, 3 to 5 days to get there. So that may be something I want to rework. I don't know. I'm kind of just like talking this through with you guys, So let me know what you guys do. Do you pay all of your bills from one account, or do you have them kind of spread over? Because I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about the whole PayPal thing at the moment. So we did that in the video. And then also I didn't mention that I am attempting a zero-base cash budget. What that means is I want to cash flow everything outside of like automated expenses, like my fixed expenses. Those are going to be, from my Chase account or whatever. But everything else, like if I want to go out to eat, if we want to have a date night, anniversary, if I need to go shopping for clothes, to get my nails done, things like that, I want those all to be cash. I don't want to have to swipe anything that is not mandatory, So I'm attempting that, and I do have both sinking funds and cash envelopes. And if you don't know what the difference between those two are, cash envelopes are something that you need to get by day to day, like eating out, coffee, toiletries, gas, groceries, things like that. Sinking funds are for those that are not day to day. There's some future expense. Did I say feature? Future expense that you may or may not know the total for, but you're building kind of like a nest egg towards it. So, for example, one of my sinking funds is car tags and maintenance. We don't know necessarily how much maintenance is going to be, right? You might go in for an oil change, and it may have been $29.99 last time, but this time it's $39.99. And when they check your transmission fluid, maybe you need something else. Maybe you need, your tires rotated. Maybe one of your back tires gets flat and you blow one out. You can't get the kind that you want, but they only have a more expensive option available. You know what I mean? So we want to have something there so it doesn't impact that month's that it happens in. It doesn't impact that month's budget too hard. So that's what these sinking funds are. You may notice, if you've watched budget videos before, that the amount of sinking funds envelopes varies. So you may see that this is kind of a long list, where here I did write big, I did space them out, but I do have kind of a lot. Now, if you may look at this list and be like, I don't do YouTube, I don't need any furniture, I don't have any kids, I'm not buying nobody nothing, I don't even have a car, anniversary, what bae? Like, I don't have any of that. So never feel like you have too many or not enough sinking funds. Just do you. Think about all the aspects in your life where your money goes. That was one of my main problems, is I was spending money not knowing where it went. So I went and I really looked at, what do I do day to day? What do I want for the future, to happen, so that I can feel more financially free. You know what I mean? So that's where this list came from, and these are the things that I choose to fund. You can choose to fund yours completely differently, completely less amount, completely less often. It's all up to you. So in December, if we take a look at this, the first part, I was very, very new to this. I still am, but I wasn't able to fund these 4 categories I have here in red: furniture, YouTube, date night, and anniversary. I didn't have any money to go toward that. That's perfectly fine, because again, they're my sinking funds. They're going to be your sinking funds. So we were okay here. All this money stayed in there. Yeah, all this money stayed in there. So we didn't have too many problems there. We didn't have any problems there. Sinking funds, since they're touched less, since they have much less activity, it's much less likely that things will go wrong. With the cash envelopes, however, that's a different story. So cash envelopes, like I said, are the ones that you need for day to day. I have beauty and hair, groceries, planning, toiletries, gas, things like that. So yeah, this was my first time doing it, and I kind of dove headfirst into it. And it surprised me how fast money went. I was able to stay within my budget for everything. Let me see. Yeah, I was able to stay within my budget for everything, but it took a conscious effort for me to do that, for me to first of all remember that I was doing this whole thing and that I had cash envelopes, you know, in this envelope right here, that I only had certain amounts for certain things, because it's nothing, it used to be nothing for me just to go and, oh, I'm hungry while I'm grocery shopping. Like, never do that, because you just end up buying everything, right? Or you'll go to the drive-thru and be hungry and you just end up buying everything. Or you'll be at the nail shop and you're just there for a simple fill-in, basic color, whatever. The girl next to you was getting rhinestones and flowers, they flicking and they putting, they, you know, doing all this stuff, and oh, you want that too, huh? Well, that's an extra expense. So that's what I used to do. So it took a conscious effort for me to stay within this budget. I did pretty good. I cut it very, very close on gas and groceries, if I remember correctly at this point. Toiletries and household was a surprise. I thought I would need to go over, but I didn't. I didn't use anything from it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I did a mini mid-month check-in for this first half of December. If you're interested, it's back on the channel. And then we get into December part 2. This is where I didn't change things up really. I just made the grid smaller, and I was more aware. Since I was so conscious during this first half, I was more aware when I went into the second half, which is how you should be. So I started with the same thing. I started with my carry forward, which was how much was left in my account. And then I did what I needed for bills that hadn't cleared yet. That's another thing why I'm thinking that I may need separate accounts, because it kind of bugged me to have to go back and see what hadn't cleared and what I was waiting on. And is this half of the payment or is this the whole payment? So it was kind of weird, and I may change it to do like a whole different account. So that's a thing. So I did what I needed for bills, what I had remaining, what my paycheck was, and what I had other income. That was something else. I was like, oh, I need to account for if I have not only unexpected expenses, but unexpected income, right? So I had to add that line item in, and I was left with a little bit more than last time. So same thing, I went down, and this time I was able to cut things in half. I was so excited for this part. So I was able to cut things in half so that my footprint was less in my bank account and more in my cash flow system. So the same thing, I have these in blue that went to different accounts, that went to PayPal, and then this one down here goes to Capital One 360 for my son's savings. I'm thinking about doing a video on like savings for kids and things like that, so let me know if you're interested. So our recurring bills section here came out to $1,030.42, which left us with like $714 to work with. So I was excited for that. And then we get into the cash budget. The cash flow portion. So we had sinking funds, which pretty much remained the same. And I remember I took what was left of my sinking funds and I put the remaining into my savings. So I have like, it says RNG savings, which are my initials, but I'm thinking of changing that to rainy day savings, because it's kind of like miscellaneous, but not emergency, but it's just like, I don't know what I want to call that. So like rainy day savings, like maybe if I need like an extra $4, nothing crazy, because I don't want to go outside of what I'm thinking too far, especially in the beginning. I want to be very structured, and that is what I find helps me in the beginning of any project. I need to be structured. I need to have a clear-cut vision as to what I'm doing. So I try to make this as minimal as possible, because I want these to work for themselves. I don't want to have to dip too far into this. So maybe if I need like an extra $4 at Target, or an extra a little extra money because I want to get popcorn at the movies when I go with Elijah, something like that, maybe that's what this fund will be for. So we have the sinking funds in at $214 for this paycheck, which was pretty nice. I can see it steadily building up, and that motivated me a lot. Not only to have the envelopes and to fund it the first time, but funding it the second time and seeing the money in there from the first time. I was like, oh, we got this, right? So I'm getting real cocky on week 2, you know what I'm saying? So then we moved down to the cash envelopes, and I remember I got that $30 of other income in as a gift card that I wasn't expecting for the holidays from one of my doctors. It was just $30, but it was to Target, so hello, it's notable because it's gonna be spent. So I put it in to my income. I put it into my income there, but I took it out over here, so that it's kind of a wash, and I'm not counting gift card as actual like cash in my wallet. I'm counting it differently. So I got my cash envelopes at 3:30. This came in handy, I remember, because we went to see Spider-Man this week, so having that money in entertainment really helped. We went to a matinee. That helped too. Gas, I've been able to hit it on the head, but I do remember I didn't account for the holidays and the extra driving with the holidays. I had filled up one time, and no, I had like 3/4 of a tank one time, the first time that I went, and I had $18 left over, and then I had to use again because after driving around for the holidays, like going to pick up pans or jerk chicken, going to my boyfriend's house, driving out to my sister's house, and like doing all this running around like to grocery stores and stuff, I used more gas. So I should have planned better for my gas fund because I was tapped out, and I still haven't gone to fill up because I need to do my cash stuffing video for this coming week. So that is a tip of mine, is to not just fund things because that's what they got last time. You know, that's what I did here with the gas, is because that's what I did last time, right? But I didn't think like I'm going to have to help out with Christmas dinner and driving around, and I'm going to have to drive to another location for Christmas, which is like how many miles? Probably like 30 miles one way and then back, and then it was a mess. So really think consciously again about what you have coming up for those days that you're budgeting for. Don't just do it because that's what happened last time. And then also we had some non-recurring expenses because I was in my first weeks of my budget. I wasn't really thinking about the unknown. I was just thinking about day to day. Okay, this is what I'm spending for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and this bill is due. I wasn't thinking about things that may pop up, which is why I kind of beefed up the rainy day type of thing. But we had the car tag renewal, which came around, and I'm going to be more aware of it now because it's every November. I have to renew my car tag sticker, you know, on your license plate, that little sticker that has the month and the year and it's color coded. So, well, at least in Illinois, I don't get out much, so that's what we have in Illinois. So every November, like from the 1 year anniversary as to when you get the car, you have to renew. So I didn't think about that, and that was a big hit that I took with this paycheck. I had to take out all $101 for that. So that was what I was getting at with the idea of you have these sinking funds so that it doesn't affect that month's budget too hard. And this is an example of it. Is if I had a sinking fund where I was contributing the $9 a month that it would take to get this over 12 months, it wouldn't have hit me so hard, but I had to do this entire thing in one go. And, you know, that was pretty painful. And then I had to pay back my mom because we had that white, you guys told me what it was, white elephant? I think I said a white horse, and that was wrong. So it had to be white elephant. We had this white elephant party where we had to bring booze or candles. I picked booze, of course. I bought like this fancy bottle of Absolute, and yeah, it cost me $29. No, it cost me $18, and then I had another $10 I owed my mom for something else. I can't remember. I think I said it in the video. So that was $130 that I wasn't planning for that had to be taken out of this check. So that was a pretty big deal. And also, I have it written over here. I told you guys in my vlog. I told you guys in my vlog where I was wrapping those presents that I had a fail. Right there, it's right here. That I had a fail. Well, I actually had 3 of them because I swiped my credit card 3 times. Okay, 3 times. And this is what I used it on. I wrote it down because I was like, I have to tell them. They have to know. And if they come for me, they come for me. So I went to, oh, you can't see. Oh, wait, I didn't swipe my card 3 times. I swiped it twice. Hello, because I have a gift card that you guys will see in the next video. So, Portillo's. Can you see? Don't play. You was just focused. Okay. So Portillo's, I got really freaking hungry and I ordered Portillo's on DoorDash, and I should not have done it because their prices are outrageous. Then they had a $25 order minimum, and then they had tax, and then they had the dasher fee, and I'm just like, oh my god. But I was really hungry and I didn't feel like going out because it was like sleeting outside. So I paid $35 for that, and then Burger King I spent another $7.07. I had a coupon, but that still doesn't excuse it. So I was over this week in my eating out fund because of those 2 expenses, and it wasn't fun. But you guys will see that in the next video. So that is really my recap. That's really my recap for December 2018. You know, I learned a couple things that will help me when making December's budget. Definitely think about the unknown and things that may be coming up, and you're budgeting for the time that you're budgeting for, and you want to be very specific on those dates. Like, not that I didn't realize, but I didn't take into account that Christmas was on the 25th and there was going to be extra activities. Like, yeah, I didn't have to eat out as much, but there was going to be more driving and more this and that and more and other things that would affect my budget. So also, I learned that a lot of my heavier bills hit in the middle of the month where I may need to space them out a little more. And even though I have a lot due here, they're not as bad as these big chunks that are falling here. And my goals for January is to just be more aware and start tackling the debt. I want to be able to send more money to debt while also saving more. So I'm trying to find a sweet spot between that. But like I said, we're on this journey together. We'll figure it out, because basically these videos are just me like thinking out loud and not being looked at too weird because I'm actually talking to a camera and I'm not just like talking to myself. Kind of, but I am. That makes sense. I want to do better with my eating out fun. I don't want to beef it up. I want to put my foot down with the eating out portion, and I'm thinking that I may need to beef up my grocery fund. I don't know. I want to eat out less. I want to cook at home more. I want to save more, and I want to pay off more debt. I don't know if I can do all those in the month of January, but I'm going to start. So in the next video, we're going to do our January budget. In the next video after that, we're going to do our January part 1 cash stuffing. What else do I have to film today? We're going to get started with the credit 101. I'm excited for that. That's highly requested. I think that's it. I think those 4. I think that's enough. So once again, you see the shirt again. It's because I'm filming. We're banging them out. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Oh, and if you haven't seen, in the last video, I included a free printable for you to get started on your own budget journey. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Go ahead, download, print it out as many times as you want. Personal use only. Please do not try to resell or pass it off as your own, but you're more than welcome to print as many copies as you want. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We are going to, let's start a discussion in the description. We're going to start a discussion down in the comments below. What were some of your wins and your fails from last month, from December? Have you started your budget journey yet? What are your goals for 2019? Do you set goals monthly or annually? I need to know. I need to know, because a lot of people that I'm seeing on Instagram, they're saying to do your goals annually. I don't know. Maybe I can do it like semi-annually. I don't know how far I need to think out, but let me know what you guys have learned from your budget journey so far. Any tips or tricks that you can help me out with, I'm always open to. And until the next video, I will see you guys later. Bye!